Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to each of you this Shabbat evening. I am eager to have this time together to take a breath and relax into Shabbat and the comfort of Shabbat together in this space. After a busy week, after the cares of the week, we get to set that down and enter into Shabbat together during this time. You will notice that it is just me up here on this little bima. So we're sending prayers for feeling a bit better. Cantor is a little bit under the weather, as is Tracy Leonard Warner, who is going to play guitar. So Shabbat is about rest, and that's what they're doing right now, and hopefully they feel much better in a day or two, both of them. And I'll count on all of you to sing, really sing with me this evening. So let us continue welcoming in Shabbat with the light of our Shabbat candles. Amber and Eris, I'd love to invite you to kindle our Shabbat candles this evening. And we have tea lights here in the front and in the back of the sanctuary for anyone else who wishes to kindle candles.
I meant to tell you, when you put your phone under the chair, I forgot to move my wine from that chair because I scooted down and you knocked my wine over. It got on your phone.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and light whenever you are ready. It's one of those nice big long ones so you can reach down into it.
I'll hold you.
It's kind of tricky, interesting. I see what you have long ones. There we go. Yes. And I think I need a fire extinguisher now.
Right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. In our prayer books now together, we will continue on page 1. On page 1, we will continue with Yedid Nefesh, welcoming in Shabbat by addressing God as the beloved of our souls. Yedid nefesh harahaman, Yedid nefesh harahaman, meshachadecha el ratzonecha, meshachadecha yadadadai el ratzonecha. And on page 2, Psalm 95, we will continue with L'chuna Ranana. L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana, L'chuna Ranana. on the top of page 8. Page 8, we will continue from Psalm 99, where you see the asterisk. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu v'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu v'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu v'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu v'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu v'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu v'har kodsho. We will turn together now to page 10. Page 10, where we find the words of Lecha Dodi. Together we will sing the verses with asterisks. And on the final verse, verse 9, we will rise together as we are able and face the entrance, symbolically welcoming the presence of Shabbat. Yalalalai Lecha Dodi. Yalalalai Likrakala. Yalalalai P'nei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat Nikave. Yalalalai Lecha Dodi. Yalalalai Likrakala. Yalalalai P'nei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat Nikave. Shamor terepala גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה ינננני לחדודי ינננני לקרקלה ינננני פני שבת נקבה ינננני לחדודי ינננני לקרקלה ינננני פני שבת נקבה We will remain standing now together as we continue on page 15. Page 15 with Chatzi Kaddish, followed by Baruchu. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'yalma divrach urtei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'gala uv'yizmahan kariv v'yimeru amen Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevarach Lahalam ulal mehamaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yithalev V'yithalal Shemei Dekudasha Brichu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damihiran bi'alma v'yimeru amen Baruchu et Adonai ha'mevorach Baruch Adonai ha'mevorach ha'mevorach le'olam va'ed Baruch Adonai ha'mevorach le'olam va'ed. We continue individually. Tamidim lo chalinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Hamari v'aravim. Al tasir mimenu la'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. You may be seated. Page 18. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. On the top of page 21, we will continue with our song of freedom, Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha, Vaylim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Nedar Bakodesh, Nohra, Tehilot, Osei, Felet, Nohra, Tehilot, Osei, Felet, Malchutecha, Rahuvanecha, Ukeyayam, Lifnei Moshe uMiriam, Zeili, Zeili, Anu ve'ameru, Adonai, Yimloch, Le'olam, Va'ed, Adonai, Yimloch, Le'olam, Va'ed, Yalai, Yalalai, Yalalalai, Yalai, Yalalai, Yalalalai. V'ne'emar, Kifad Adonai et Yaakov, Ugelo miad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Kahal Yisrael. On the bottom of page 21 and continuing on the bottom of page 22, Adonai, enable us to lie down and rest this night and raise us up to life renewed, spreading over us a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace and wholeness. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu Sukkot shlomecha, ufros aleinu Sukkot shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 On the top of page 23, we will continue with Vishamru. Following Vishamru, we will take a few moments for silent prayer, the silent Amidah, which begins on page 23 and continues through page 32. On page 23, we will rise together as we're able. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. Bein At this time in our service, we have the opportunity to call into our hearts all those who are in need of healing, healing of mind, of body, of spirit. If you would like to share the name of someone for whom you are praying for healing, if you've joined us streaming online, please share their names in the chat or in the comments. And present together, please share those names as I look around the room. The Mishaberach can be found in our prayer books on page 34. Page 34. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lahavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom. As we prepare for our move into our soon-to-be completed new home, and you likely couldn't have missed the flyers for all of the upcoming ways for us to say goodbye to this very precious space and to celebrate our entry into our new home. So as we prepare for our move into our new home, you are likely aware that here at Temple High, we have begun the important and certainly daunting work of packing. Closet by closet, drawer by drawer, shelf by shelf, box by box, we are sorting through what has accumulated over the years. Craft supplies and years-old unused textbooks, photographs and curriculum materials, treasures carefully preserved, and things long forgotten. You live in a building and you fill it with activity. You hold services and you celebrate and you mourn. And you keep things. The last few prizes from the Purim Carnival, lo, those many years ago, or that art project from 18 years ago, or the teacher clipboard from 22 years ago. We did find one of those. And you tuck them away. And now as you move, you have to pull everything out, examine each item, give away what's not going to find new use in the new space, and to carefully preserve what's needed and what's meaningful. Now, the experience of packing in anticipation of our move gives me a unique appreciation for this week's doubled Torah portion, Tazria Mitzorah. This is the portion that when bar mitzvah students get this portion, I like to joke that they won the lottery of dermatological or home inspection related Torah portions. The bulk of this combined portion focuses on certain afflictions and how they're dealt with, both afflictions of the skin and afflictions of the walls of a house, or really the fabric of the tents that people would dwell in. Sara'at is an affliction of the skin that in most cases renders someone ritually impure, and in a process guided by the priests, that the afflicted people are able to spend time healing outside of the community and then have a specific process for attaining ritual purity again and re-entering the community. And you may have heard the commonly quoted teaching about this Torah portion that the word Metzora can be interpreted as an acronym for Motzi Shem Ra, which is bringing forward an evil or a bad name. Therefore, tzara'at, this physical affliction, is associated by the sages of old with gossiping, with speaking ill of others. So through interpretation of the sages, Torah teaches us that how we live within community, how we act in the world, and importantly, the words we speak have a palpable impact, not only on the people we speak to, not only on the people you speak about, but on yourself, on ourselves, in a way that is physical, that has a real physical manifestation. And in this connection, we get a sense that the punishment, so to speak, fits the crime. You created distance between another person and the community by speaking ill of them. Therefore, in order to be rid of your affliction, you have to create distance, leaving the Israelite camp being quarantined, in a sense, for a period of time until the affliction passes. Sara'at, however, our Torah portion tells us, is also an affliction that can affect clothing and homes, the physical structures of the homes. And like the skin afflictions, there is a process overseen by the priests for dealing with this issue affecting the walls or structure of a home, to root it out and to sometimes start from scratch or rebuild. And much like Sara'at of the body, the sages of old interpret Sara'at of the home to serve almost like a bit of a check engine light, indicating that something is amiss within. Something here amiss within the spiritual lives of those who dwell within. According to one particularly interesting interpretation, Sara'at of the home occurs not necessarily when those living within it have gossiped or spoken ill of others. Rather, they teach that this affliction of the home occurs when the owners of the house refuse to lend a tool, claiming that they do not own such an instrument. So we can picture the situation. A neighbor, maybe someone in need, maybe just a neighbor, comes to his neighbor and asks to borrow a tool. Let's say your neighbor comes to you asking to borrow your leaf blower. You reply, "Ainley, I don't have one." However, you do indeed have one. But for whatever reason, you don't want to share it. You choose not to share, not to open your heart and lend that tool to your neighbor. This wouldn't be a gift, it would be a loan, but you refuse. And therefore, your home is afflicted with tzara'at. The sages teach that here, the consequence fits the action. As part of the process for the home to be healed from this type of affliction is that the home must be emptied entirely of its contents before it can be examined by a priest. So when the owners of a home refuse to lend a tool, claiming they don't own it, then this affliction causes them to have to empty their home, publicly displaying every single item they own, exposing their lie for the community to see, and likely shaming them for being unwilling to share their resources with others. There is your leaf blower, sitting on your lawn, surrounded by all your other possessions for the entire neighborhood to see. This portion is the single only place in Torah where tzara'at of homes is discussed. Though in certain places in the Talmud, these afflictions are dealt with in a way that seems quite literal, interestingly, certain sages claim that this affliction was completely hypothetical, that it never was and never will be. And it's only in the Torah to teach us and to allow us to learn. Now, it's not too often nowadays that a neighbor pops by asking to borrow some kind of tool, depending on the neighborhood you live in, or even a cup of sugar. And I'm confident that if one did, most of us wouldn't hesitate to lend that leaf blower unless perhaps we had a reason to mistrust our neighbor. But all too often, in one way or another, we find ourselves in situations where, for whatever reason, we choose not to answer that call, not to give of ourselves, of our time or our money or effort to help others. Now, of course, it's not feasible to constantly be giving away our money, our household goods, or our time. These are finite resources. Perhaps in this day and age, because of the prevalence of the asks, emails at holidays, the turn of the year, worthy causes that we scroll by on Facebook, the chance to give $1 to a cause when checking out at the grocery store, on and on, perhaps we become a bit desensitized. And the same goes for our time. I'd love to volunteer, but I'm too busy. I'd love to bring a meal to that new mom, but I can barely find time to cook a meal for my own family. I'd love to volunteer at the food pantry, but I typically run errands on a Tuesday. And that mental state that so many of us hold of being so incredibly busy or set into the patterns of our days and weeks means that we may deny ourselves the opportunity to give of our time and deny others the benefit that volunteering that time could have for them. When we get used to saying ainly, I don't have that tool or time, it becomes more a state of mind than a state of being. When ainly becomes our default, we're living in a way that's more closed off, more spiritually restricted than is healthy, more spiritually restricted than is true to our values and to ourselves. Now, we no longer have, maybe we never had, a response like Sura'at of the home as that check engine light, revealing to ourselves that we do have more ability to give. What we have is this Torah portion, teaching us to take more responsibility for our tendency to say ainly, I don't have any, I can't. Our Torah portion invites us instead to take stock of all that we have, our time, our money, our spirit, and to move toward a perspective of yeshli, I do have that, I can help. When we realize yeshli, I do have, when we choose to recognize that we live in a state of abundance, we will be moved to live with open hearts in our world. You've likely read the same articles and studies that I have that say that having more possessions, using our resources to purchase more material things for ourselves, having more money does not make us actually happier or fulfilled so long as we have a certain subsistence level. But those studies do indicate that giving to others, whether our resources or our time, does correlate with a significantly higher level of happiness and fulfillment. That is what it means to live from yeshli. Perhaps I have an abundance. I definitely have enough. And I am therefore able and willing to share with others. Think of what life would be like if we each responded yeshli whenever possible. In our Temple High community, I see so often people choosing to give of their time and resources, choosing to say yeshli. Think of our Karen community volunteers, our Shiva minion makers, from knitting healing quilts to cleaning up streets, from visiting our fellow community members in the hospital to bringing meals, volunteering at the front desk here at Temple to lending a hand helping to pack up the kitchen. That is saying yeshli. And it moves me, and it inspires me to see in our community. What if we all lived that way for the majority of the time, think of what our community could be like, what our world could be like, if each of us could lean into Yeshli every day. In the coming week, let us choose to say Yeshli. Let us open our hearts to our dear ones, to our community, and to the world. And may the home we are building together be known not only for the beauty of its walls, though they will be beautiful, but for the caring souls within them, whose every answer is Yeshli. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Amen. Thank you. I would love to invite forward Michael Loya, representing our board of directors, to share some
Wow.
announcements. If it's
Very
too-
nice
if you want-
today.
You can pick
I
up the
know.
mic if it's too low.
I think I'll be fine. Well, all right. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
First of all, we have to thank Becca Friedman for your time today. Thank you for volunteering. Upcoming events on April 24th and the 25th, we mark our 50th anniversary celebration of our legacy of leadership. Friday night Shabbat services will feature honored guest clergy, including Rabbis Bill Burke, Mari Charnow, Peter Levy, Cantor Sharona Fowler, Ross Woolman, Tanya Greenblatt, and student Rabbi Levi Gettleman, and student cantor Leah Greenblom, and Temple High members. There is a dinner, and you must, that's right after, and you must register after for that event, and followed by this, start over again. There is a dinner, and you must register for after services, followed by Israeli dancing to the music of the high tones. Sounds good, right? Okay, good. Glad you guys are excited. Saturday, April the 25th will be a day of learning and song and story. Please register for the dinner and day of learning. Just a reminder. During the first part of May, if you wish to schedule a private moment of personal reflection or a prayer in the current sanctuary and in front of the ark, either alone, with family, and or with our rabbis, please be sure to reserve your time. On Tuesday, May 26th at 7 p.m., please join us for saying goodbye. There will be a brief ceremony of Hadalah and a deconsecration of our current sanctuary, followed by an oneg with dessert. So please pay attention to that date again if you feel moved to spend time here before we close these doors. On Thursday, May 28th at 7:30 a.m. Somehow it came up as p.m., so I was a little nervous. I thought that
AM.
didn't make sense. Accompany us to the Halicha Safar
Halichat means walking. Halichat,
Walking.
Sefer Torah.
Torah. Join us for a special day as we usher our Torahs from Maryland Road and walk to our new building on Bell Road. The procession will be accompanied by a police escort. So hopefully people will come out. That's going to be a very special day and a very special moment for all of us to do that. They anticipate that to be about 2 hours. The good thing, there's going to be a hop on and hop off festive, trolley. So that will be available for anybody who wants to take a little break. So moving forward to our last two, on Friday, May 29th at 5:30, there'll be a Chanasha, Torah, and a consecration celebration. We will hang a mezuzah on the main entrance and the sanctuary of our new building, carrying our Torah scrolls into our new sanctuary and consecrate our new home with our first Kabbalat Shabbat services. So again, that's going to be May 29th at 5:30. So come early because I'm sure it's going to be crowded. A festive celebration and food will follow, and we welcome Shabbat with a joyful new beginning. Wonder where that line came from. I love it. And then lastly, celebrations will continue in September when we will have an official dedication ceremony at our new campus. So again, please check your EHI and Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. And don't forget to take a look at the back of your Shabbat brochure for all sorts of other upcoming events. And it's like our refrain, they're all in your Ichai. The one thing I want to mention in addition is that for our Friday evening, our first Friday evening in the new building, when we're hanging our mezuzahs, bringing our Torah scrolls in, and our first Shabbat service, we will be joined, even though he doesn't start till July 1st, we'll be joined by our new cantor, Josh Finkel, for that special moment as well. So we're thrilled that he'll be part of that first Shabbat, a new beginning together with us. So we will continue now. We're in the period of the Omer. And this evening marks the 16th day of the Omer. So I wanted to share with you, this is a beautiful book by Rabbi Karen Kadar, and it has a teaching for every single day of the Omer. It's called Omer Accounting, okay? And she connects this day of the Omer, the 16th day of the Omer. We're within the third week. And she connects this day to an awareness of fear and how we deal with fear. So I want to read to you a brief reflection that she shares. Be aware of fear. If it warns you of danger, take heed. Don't second guess yourself. But if it lives silently in your heart as a part of who you've become, it may lead you astray. In the world of the Spirit, the opposite of love is not hate, but rather it is fear. Fear of what? That love, abundant and free-flowing, is somehow remote, far, and inaccessible. Here are the rules. Do not permit your perceptions of what is true to be based on a habit of fearful impulses. Do not speak if there is fear in your heart. Your words will lack clarity and precision. They will not be wise, nor will they be compassionate. Better to keep silent. Do not allow your strategies, actions, or plans to be driven by fearful assumptions. So we'll say the blessing for counting the Omer. It's on page 37 of your prayer books if you'd like to join in. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom shisha asar yom shehem shnei shavuot u'shnei yamim la'omer. Today is the 16th day, which is 2 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. So we will continue together now with the concluding prayers of our service. Aleinu can be found on page 38. Page 38, please rise as you are able. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latekedu la liotzer breshit shelo asanu kagoye haratzot velo samanu kamishpachot hadama shelo sam chelkenu kahem vegoharavenu kecho hamonam vanachnu korim Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar b'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihya Adonai echad Ushamo echad. You may be seated. We hold close in memory now all those we've loved and lost, friends, family, members of our congregational community for whom we are in a period of mourning or observing a yahrzeit. If you've joined us streaming online, please share the names of those you are remembering in the chat or in the comments so we can hold them close in our hearts with our own. As I share the names of those who died in recent days, if you're here remembering one of these beloved individuals, I'll invite you to rise as you are able. We remember Ellie Gersten, Shelley Roth, Midge Goldner, and Rita Green. If you are here remembering someone or observing a yahrzeit or a period of mourning, if you'd like to share their name, I'll invite you to rise as you are able at this time. Zichronam livracha, may all their memories be for a blessing. Together on page 40, we rise as one community as we continue with the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kariv imru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar v'yit ale v'yit halal shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as again we say, amen. On page 41, in the middle of the page, I'd love to invite Joe and Carol to help lead us in the Kiddush this evening.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu Zikaron ma'aseh bereshit Ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'ei kodesh Zecher l'tziyat Mitzrayim Ki vanu v'charta Yotanu kidashta B'kol ha'amim Shabbat kachecha yavahu ratzon hinechaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat
L'chaim, Yasher Koach, Shabbat
you.
Shalom. Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha. As you were blessed, bringing blessings with you into this sanctuary, so may you be blessed, bringing blessings with you as you go. Shabbat Shalom.